So today is the 120th birthday of Peter Zapffe, and I thought I'd make a video about his thoughts as a philosopher to celebrate the occasion. Zapffe is a pessimistic Norwegian philosopher who believes that it would be better for humans if we never existed. He thought this because he believed that we have an overdeveloped consciousness that causes too much existential suffering. We are constantly craving a justification for our existence, always searching for the meaning of life or for what the good life is. Now, Zapffe wasn't the first person to believe that we have an overdeveloped consciousness. It was Dostoevsky who said, "I swear to you, gentlemen, that to be overly conscious is a sickness, a real, thorough sickness." Now, Zapffe believed that our consciousness leads to a paradox, as humans spend the majority of their time trying to avoid being human. Our consciousness can't bear being conscious, and so to bear existence, we have to limit our consciousness. Now, Zapffe developed 4 strategies that humans use to limit our consciousness, so we can also limit our existential suffering and bear existence. So the first strategy that humans use is called isolation. So we isolate these negative facts of being alive by relegating them to a remote compartment of our minds. We tell ourselves lies like being alive is all right. In essence, we try to forget about all the evil and suffering that goes on in the world and existentially. The next strategy that we use is called anchoring. So to give stability to our lives, we try and anchor ourselves with notions of God or morality or law or nationalism or the family, and is something that we fall back upon should we be reminded of the painful nature of existence. The next step that Zapffe suggested that we use in order to limit our consciousness is distraction. Now, distraction is something we do because, hey, it's better to kill time than kill oneself. We indulge in pleasure or consume ourselves with tasks so that we can avoid the horror of existence. Instead of caring about animals dying in slaughterhouses, we scroll through our social media or kick back to watching some Netflix. Basically, we do anything to avoid the acknowledgement of worldly suffering or our own existential suffering. Now, the next and final strategy that Zapffe puts forth is that of sublimation. Sublimation is basically a tool used by artists who sublimate our fears by making an open display of them. So they sublimate the human condition through art, whether it be music, painting, novels or films, or even someone like me sharing a YouTube video about pessimistic philosophy. So because of our overdeveloped consciousness and the fact that we use these 4 methods to limit our consciousness, Zapffe believed that it would be much better for humans if we were to stop existing. Now, it doesn't mean that we should all commit suicide or drop weapons of mass destruction on each other, killing all humankind. Rather, he believes that we should slowly stop breeding. It's so much suffering that it's better not to have children, to not bring anyone into this world. And slowly, gradually over time, we eventually kill ourselves off when we become so aware of our inability to bear human existence. Because think about it, if you exist, you experience both suffering and happiness. But if you don't exist, you experience neither suffering nor happiness. Now, if you never exist, the pleasantness of happiness isn't even a factor, because what does happiness matter if you don't exist? So yeah, that's basically a summary of Zapfe's thought. If you're interested in reading more about Zapffe or pessimistic philosophy, then I highly recommend Thomas Ligotti's The Conspiracy Against the Human Race. In this book, Ligotti writes a summary of pessimism, and he covers many different topics, including transhumanism, determinism, negative utilitarianism, whether it's right or not to procreate. He goes through so many different types of pessimistic philosophers, and he talks about optimism versus pessimism as well. So yeah, I'll leave a link below if you're interested in getting that, but I highly recommend it if you are interested in reading more about Zapffe or pessimistic philosophy in general. So yeah, that's it for today. So if you like watching this type of content, feel free to like and hit the subscribe button, and stay tuned for my next video. Cheers, thank you, see ya, bye!